Welcome to the UK news on September 27th in 2021. And today we start with the topic expulsion. Great Britain has threatened EU citizens who no longer have a residence permit after Brexit with expulsion. Anyone staying in the UK is illegal, said Kevin Foster, Secretary of State for Immigration, to the Italian newspaper La Repubblica. We expect people to leave the country voluntarily, but if they don't, the immigration authorities will try to enforce their departure, said the Conservative politician. As of the end of August, 400,000 applications were still being processed. The public rightly expects us to remove those who have no right to be in the UK, Foster said. He refused to relax the visa rules in order to allow urgently needed specialists back into the country. Well, you should talk to Boris Johnson about that one. You will hear later today. The new immigration system is not the cause of the many vacancies, claimed the politician. The fact that EU countries were also desperately looking for employees in logistics or catering shows that Brexit was not the cause of the problem. No, it's the cause of the problem that it's much worse in the UK than everywhere else. Business associations, on the other hand, have long been calling for exemptions to remedy the pressing shortage of skilled workers. One of Prime Minister Boris Johnson's key Brexit promises was to end the freedom of movement. EU citizens who lived in the country before Britain left the EU customs union and internal market on January 1st could apply for a new resident status until the end of June 2021, which would give them access to the health system, the labour market and social benefits even after Brexit. More than 6 million people did so, and so far 5.4 million applications have been approved, but I would wait for the expulsion until the 400,000 missing have been processed. Just saying. And now we come to Christmas tree shortage. 3 months before Christmas, Christmas tree producers in the UK are warning of shortages. Because of strict Brexit rules and the tense labour market, there could be fewer but more expensive Christmas trees for the festival days, said Marc from online retailer Christmas Trees to the broadcaster Sky News. Spy News, nice one. We have spoken to our UK producers and they all face the same challenges, said Rofi. The cost for raw materials such as wood for pallets as well as for labour, fertilizer, labels and transport have also increased. As a result, wholesale prices would have to be increased by 5 to 10%. This Christmas season it will be more difficult to get hold of a real Christmas tree, said Rofi. At the same time, namely, the demand for British fir trees is increasing, because the import costs for trees from the EU have increased since Brexit due to the higher bureaucracy and the now applicable tariffs. In addition, dealers fear delays in the time-sensitive season. 8 to 10 million real Christmas trees are sold annually in the UK, up to 3 million so far from abroad. There is a lack of trees and labour, and Rofi sees a fundamental problem facing the industry. Since Christmas trees take an average of 10 years to grow, you can't just cut down more trees, especially if there is not enough manpower to harvest them or to transport them across the country. Ben Whiteman from the retailer Christmas Tree World expects a higher demand for artificial Christmas trees in view of the lower supply of real firs and spruces. The British Christmas Tree Growers Association was relaxed though. In view of the growing environmental awareness, the demand for real Christmas trees instead of artificial ones is increasing. Thanks to a wonderful year of growth, there will be no shortage of British Christmas trees, they say. Breeders have been assured that there will be no transport problems this season, said an association spokeswoman. Well, the promises we know for quite some time now. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson's administration has already had to give assurances that the Christmas dinner will not be jeopardized in the face of serious supply chain problems. Supply chain, by the way, in German is a fun word. And I forgot it. The UK's largest poultry producer, by the way, had previously warned that turkeys could be scarce for the festival. They blamed the shortage of skilled workers due to stricter Brexit immigration laws and problems with the production of CO2 due to increased energy costs. CO2 is required to stunning animals for slaughter and also to seal packaging in a vacuum-tight manner. Supply chain is Wertschöpfungskette in German. And now let's go to the submarine crisis. After the dispute over a cancelled submarine deal, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson wants to limit the damage to relations with France. In a telephone conversation with French President Emmanuel Macron, Johnson said, according to his office, that the two countries would work closely around the world. Macron's office said Johnson requested the phone call and expressed his intention to re-establish cooperation between France and the UK. This applies in particular to the Indo-Pacific region, climate issues, and the fight against terrorism. Macron replied that he was waiting for Johnson's proposals, it said in a brief statement from the Élysée Palace. Great Britain should start with concrete steps. Johnson's office was more optimistic about the course of the conversation. Both politicians had reaffirmed the importance of the British-French relationship and agreed on further close global cooperation with regard to our common agenda via NATO and bilaterally. Accordingly, cooperation in the fight against the smuggling of refugees and migrants across the Channel to Great Britain was discussed. After the dispute over a cancelled submarine deal, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson wants to limit the damage to relations with France. And as I said in a telephone conversation with French President Emmanuel Macron, Johnson said, according to his office, that the two countries would work closely around the world. And it's one of his typical attempts to crack down everything and then just say, I'm sorry. I know this from a lot of kids around here. They do the same. Better, what was the saying? You might correct me later. Better say sorry than ask in beforehand or something like that. There's a similar saying in German, but I don't know the proper English one. Please put it in the comments how it's said correctly. And this is really not making stuff more easy. There were tensions around Brexit, about the boats on the Channel, and now they're adding up with the submarine deal. And trust is a big topic. And there is not much trust with the UK at the moment from EU side anymore. But US President Joe Biden tried also to mediate and quickly sought rapprochement with France. France's ambassador is expected to return to the United States soon, and there is to be a face-to-face meeting between the two presidents in October. Damage limitation is important for Biden. In contrast to his predecessor Donald Trump, he often affirms the importance of transatlantic cooperation and at the same time calls for more commitment from Europe, for example, in the conflict with China. In the new security alliance, Australia, the USA and Great Britain want to improve their military cooperation in the Indo-Pacific region. Australia and the USA in particular feel threatened by China's increasing dominance in the East Asian Sea. On the French side, it's feared that it will be ignored in the region in the future. And Biden is also doing something outside security. Have a look on my my USA channel. And now we come to Backlog. The processing of the backlog of cancer treatments in England could take more than a decade, according to a recent study. Even if the currently heavily stressed hospitals carried out 5% more treatments than they currently do, it would take until around 2033 to deal with it all, including previously unrecognized cases, according to an evaluation by the think tank Institute for Public Policy Research published on Friday. Because of the pandemic, an estimated 19,500 cancer patients are said to have not been diagnosed. For example, because doctor appointments or referrals did not take place. There is an urgent need for more money for newer medical equipment and more staff for the English Health Service, the analysis says. This is the only way to prevent many deaths. Duchess Camilla, who wrote a guest article about it in the Daily Mail, is also concerned with the effects of the pandemic on cancer patients. She said, "Like everyone else, I've seen close family members and friends fight cancer. Sadly, some of them have now died, others have made it said. The wife of heir to the throne, Prince Charles, thanked the Maggie's Centres for the treatment centres across the UK for cancer patients and their families. The Duchess has been the president of the institutions for many years." And now we come to something more fun. I called it the beer comeback. In the English professional leagues, football fans could soon be able to drink their beer on the pitch again after a 36-year break. First, the measure should be tested in a pilot project in the 4th and 5th leagues, said former Sports Secretary Tracy Crouch to the newspaper The Times. The Conservative Member of Parliament heads a commission that investigates the English football system after the failure of the Super League with the involvement of fans. In the top 5 leagues in England, spectators have been banned from drinking alcohol in the stands since 1985. With the measure, the government and clubs wanted to get the rampant hooligan problem under control. In many stadiums, however, there is beer at stalls inside, and numerous fans sit in nearby pubs until just before kickoff. Fan organizations have repeatedly criticized the ban on consumption at the square as out of date. It would be the second time in a short period of time that decade-old bans have been repealed in English football. It was only on Wednesday, you might have heard it in my video, that the Sports Ground Safety Authority, which is responsible for safety in football stadiums, announced that the clubs in the 2 top leagues will be able to offer a limited number of standing places under certain conditions from January 1st. When it comes to alcohol, Crouch referred to clubs like Dulwich Hamlet. The London 6th Division make a lot of sales with beverages. This will break away if the club moves up to the 5th Division, where beer consumption is prohibited on the pitch. They frankly told us they couldn't afford to move up because of the drinking rules, said Crouch. In addition, many fans would drink a lot of alcohol in a short time because of the ban. So my recommendation is to steer this so that no one has to dump their pint at halftime, said Crouch. And I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.